Welcome to another video on TOS News.
Police in the U.S. state of Ohio have released body camera footage of a fatal shooting of pregnant black woman Takia Young, which sparked public anger and renewed calls for an end to deadly police violence in the United States. The footage released on Friday showed the 21-year-old's killing in a grocery store parking lot in Blendon Township, a suburb of the Ohio state capital, Columbus, on August 24th. Authorities said Young's unborn child did not survive the shooting.
Stop. Hey, out of the car. Out of the car.
Blendon Township Police Chief John Belford has characterized the incident as a tragedy that occurred when police tried to stop Young after she was accused of shoplifting. But Young's family has called the killing avoidable, a gross misuse of power and authority, and a hateful act, according to local media reports.
Then get out. No, then get out. Get out of the car.
This incident goes beyond the obvious policy violations that occurred, the family said in a statement, as reported by the Columbus Dispatch newspaper. After seeing the video footage of her death, this is clearly a criminal act. The U.S. has seen mass protests in recent years against deadly police violence, including the 2020 killing of George Floyd, by police in Minneapolis. Advocates have continued to demand accountability and an end to anti-black racism.
Young was the life of the party. Anytime she was around, it was a really good time. They say she loved her two little boys with all of her heart, and she was also very close with her family. Now, as we all can expect, this was a very emotional day for the family. It was the first time they got to see that body cam video from the Blendon Township Police Department of that shooting. We were here this morning when the family came to the police department to view that video for the very first time. They were inside for less than 10 minutes and left not too long after that. In the statement from Blendon Township Chief of Police John Belford, he says this situation is a tragedy and is asking for prayers for the family during this time. I also spoke with Sean Walton, the attorney for Takia Young and her family. He's been calling for this body cam video to be released all week long and says Young did not deserve to die. Are you surprised by what you saw?
I'm not surprised because based on what the police chief stated he saw, I think what is most surprising and what wasn't quite clear was how quickly the gun came out and why. It's a tragedy, but more than anything, it's a crime, and he should be immediately terminated and arrested.
Walton is also calling for the name of the officer who shot Takia Young to be publicly released. He says that is what true accountability and transparency looks like, but at this time we are told that officer is on leave pending review.
In the parking lot where this shooting happened last week, the Kroger is closed and has been closed all day. Employees have been telling people that it will be reopening tomorrow morning. Earlier today, we talked with the executive vice president of the police union about last week's shooting and the body camera video. Brian Steele says this is tragic for everyone involved. He's asking the community to not just look at how the situation ended here last week, but also the moments leading up to that. He brought up how Young did not listen to several orders to get out of the car. He also mentioned at the time the officer got in front of the car, it was parked. I asked Steele if, based on the speed the car was going in the video, was shooting instead of getting out of the way the right call.
So I would imagine if the officer was able to move, he would have moved. Again, I can't speak for him, but I'm sure in his mind, I can only assume he did not think he can get out of the way fast enough. But again, we will not know that until the investigation is completed, and we don't even know what was in his mind.
And Steele mentioned the investigation, so what happens from here? BCI is still investigating. Once it's done, it'll turn that over to the prosecutor, who will present to the grand jury. The grand jury will then decide if there will be charges.
That's all we had for today. Until next time, we wish you prosperity.